Good morning, everybody, and thank you so much for being here to join us for Descent. It's Saturday morning D&D in Hell, Descent into Avernus here on Variant Rolls. It's early. My name's Eugenio. I use he, him pronouns, and I am also known as your friendly neighborhood dungeon master, DM Jazzy Hands. Thanks so much for being with us here today for episode 3 of our trek through Avernus. Let's go around quickly before I do all the housekeeping stuff and introduce our players for this week. Let us know who you are, who you're playing, and briefly where we can find you on the interwebs. We will start with who are we gonna start with this week? Wally.
Oh, hey, I am Wally. You can talk to me on the Twitter at Wally132. I'm usually just talking about random stuff. You can also hear me on the Decode podcast every Thursday on Twitch.
Huzzah. Let's go down to Dobbs.
Hi, I'm Dobbs. I go by she or they pronouns. You can find me anywhere under Dobbsmosis. Mainly paint minis and babble a lot.
I like it. Mike.
What's up, guys? My name is Mike. He, him pronouns. I'm going to be playing Charity. They use they, them. You can find me on Twitter at EnstoMichael or on Instagram at Mike What the Hell. I am just always talking about D&D and all of the ridiculous things going on.
I love it. And last but most certainly not least this week, Jeremiah.
Hi, I'm Jeremiah. I'm playing Scribbler, and it's he, him pronouns in both cases. And you usually can find me on Twitter opining about in general.
I love it. And unfortunately, this week, our beloved half-orc fighter Evie, played by Alex Catu, is she's not gonna be here this week. She's a little under the weather, so everybody send her healing vibes and good thoughts.
We miss you, Alex.
We miss you, Alex.
Healing words to you.
Evie will be with us, although it won't be the same. But you can find Alex on the Twitters at Alex_Catu. If you want to send her a message of get well soon. Hopefully she's asleep now because she's in Australia and it's very late there. All right. So, thanks so much for joining us here on Variant Rolls. First of all, as I said in chat, you all are heroes for being here at this time. If any of you are not in Eastern Standard Time, but in an earlier time in the United States, you are an even bigger hero. Thanks for being here. I assume that most of you have been around the Variant Rolls before, but in case you haven't, the little heart at the top of the page, click that so you can follow us and get notifications whenever we go live with our lots and lots of shows here on Variant Rolls. We wouldn't want you to miss a thing. Great. That's enough housekeeping. Who wants to tell us a little bit about what happened last week in Avernus as we jump in?
Oh, Boise.
Oh, boy.
Yes.
Fortunately.
When last we left our intrepid heroes,
Yes.
we had entered the mindscape of Lulu. Lulu was in the care being in air quotes,
Best way to describe it.
of Mad Molly, the hag, who runs the Bone, the Bone Fortress? Knucklebone Fortress.
Yeah, Fort Knucklebone.
Fort Knucklebone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Fort Knucklebone.
Knucklebone.
I like all of these alternative names, though, I have to tell you.
Sure. She,
Fort Bone Grind? No, that's a different
That's
setting.
a different setting entirely.
yeah. She wanted us to go into Lulu's mind to basically gain secrets about Zerial. In exchange, she would provide us with information on where we could find Ball's rods, because Charity was told to acquire Ball's rod.
I didn't really think that one through before I made it the main idea for this story, but anyway.
So now,
as he calls me his pet. The camera's explicit turned on. Should we?
and Charity has, of course, been all about Ball's rods.
There it is.
There it is.
Thank you.
Right there.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for being here.
It's Saturday.
Pack up, everybody. We're done. We've accomplished everything.
I was going to say, it doesn't get better than that, so thanks, everybody. Yes, that is all true. Anybody want to toss in anything else before we before we jump back in?
If I recall, there was mentioning about that Lulu saw something about a sword.
There was, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
In delving deeper into Lulu's murky mind, we managed to stray from the cognitive truth as to what had happened. In
Accurate.
which case we lost connection in the ritual with this hag that was conjuring this, and something went awry for a moment, and we found ourselves then back into the consciousness of Lulu, in which we found out that a sword was perhaps missing.
So it would seem, at least on the barest surface. Excellent.
And now we're resting.
And now you're resting, yes. Much deserved, much needed.
Oh yeah, and I pulled a bone fragment out of Mr. Mickey, the flesh golem, was it?
Oh, that's right. I forgot you helped
Yeah.
Mickey.
Yeah, he
That's
was
right.
hobbling all over the place, and I was like, "Hey, come
Yeah.
here!" And I found a little bone fragment in his foot
That's
and
right.
yanked it for him.
Maggie and Mickey will both much appreciate that. I'm not sure about everybody else at the camp. He was kind of funny to watch, but anyway.
Well, I mean, I now have a bone fragment, so if they don't like it, they can get that too.
Oh, no. Sorry, I'm just letting the train that's going by my house pass by. There we go. Okay. Excellent. All right, so yes. So we find ourselves then in one of the little garbage buildings of Fort Knucklebone. You all have had a rest. I'm sure it was a somewhat uneasy one for some of you, being surrounded by madcaps and fiendish flesh golems, and just generally, I don't imagine spending the night in hell is ever a particularly pleasant experience for some of you. But here we are, and Lulu sort of said, she asked to join you all, which I believe you all agreed to, as I recall. I don't think there was objection
Absolutely.
to her joining you.
None.
It's likely we
at
would have
all.
asked. Yeah, it's likely we would have tried to take her with us, even if she hadn't asked.
Yeah.
We would have probably stuffed her in a sack and took her with us.
Yeah.
Oh, now see, we were so on the same page, I think, the five of us. And then we talked about stuffing her in a sack, and it feels like that's where we split. Right. Anyway,
I'm a pirate, okay?
So the next morning, Lulu is sort of quiet. She says that she tells you again, thank you for taking her with you all, and she just seems generally sort of ready to be off from Fort Knucklebone. Not that she ever was, at least it seems, as far as she can tell you, not that she was ever mistreated here, but she seems sort of energetic and anxious to be off, and there's just I don't know, I feel a new energy after I got some of my memories back yesterday. So where are we going?
Excellent question, Lulu.
We are going to head over to the spawning tree.
Yes, the spawning tree, because we feel like there may be more information we can find out there, if I recall.
Quite.
Right. Cool. That sounds awesome. Where are those? Where is that?
That's a good question.
Another excellent question, Lulu. You are just full of questions today, Lulu, aren't you?
Yes, and I'm gonna go ahead and be upfront with you because that's what I do. It's not just today.
Oh, so you are definitely that type of person who just loves to know everything and ask questions all the time, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not so much about knowing, it's about like the journey to get there, because that's how we make friends.
Oh, you are a delight. You are a delight. Charity, make sure Lulu is treated with the utmost tender loving care while please.
She sort of looks nervously at Charity and hovers closer to Scribbler.
It's all right.
Is it because of my skin?
No,
No.
silly. Why would I be afraid of you because of that?
Because we look so similar, and I'm afraid that my radiant beauty is masking your radiant beauty.
Anyway, where are those trees?
So yeah, I bring up the map and point.
Yeah.
I actually did that earlier, but I can do it again.
Yes, no, she was very distracted yesterday. Also, I couldn't remember if we had done this in Lulu's presence. Yeah, she says, great, well, that's not too far away, I guess. Should we go?
Actually,
Oh,
before we go,
uh-huh.
I need to do something right quick. Out of character.
Uh-huh.
Alex is not here, but Evie is still present.
Yes.
She's gonna look over at Evie. She's gonna be like, "This is for helping me out all those times earlier. You know, you helped me get my bike and help me out of all those, you know, little trouble with all being stuck and all. You just." Boop. So let me do this for you. And Imba goes and kind of tinkers with her armor, and she infuses it.
Oh.
So she now gets a +1 bonus to her armor class.
Yes.
And it
Nice.
literally lasts until either I take it off myself or I die and days pass after I die. Like
Okay.
it lingers.
All right. So she's
So-
got some fancy magic armor now, and she, I mean, you're speaking her language, I think, so she is appreciative.
Just let the paint dry, honey. Don't mess with it too much. It might explode. But
As you say this, like, as she's reaching for it, to, like, look at, and she's like, okay. Mm-hmm.
Just T-poses. Is this all right?
Leans over and whispers, "It's probably not going to explode."
I lean over to whisper to Charity.
you're
"Is it
ruining
really
the
going to
fun.
explode?"
It's probably going to explode.
Oh,
It's a
boy.
thing.
I love it. All
All
right.
right, we can go now.
All right.
Is
Well,
Mad Maggie around?
She's not in the building at the moment, but she's, you know, you probably wouldn't have too much trouble finding her around the camp. And indeed, as you all leave the building, there sort of is a crowd with following Mad Maggie and Mickey around. So you see Maggie and Mickey, like you always do together. Those two ravens that were on Maggie's shoulders when you first met her, back on her shoulders there. But this time they're followed by a crowd of red caps and mad caps, and they all are sort of like watching Mickey closely. They all look real pissed off, although it's, to be fair, it's kind of hard to tell with them. And every now and again, one of them will sort of run up closer to Mickey and sort of like poke at his foot and lower leg, where the bone fragment used to be, Charity, and then run back and mutter something to their compatriots, and they all sort of grumble and groan.
I get a kick out of this. And then I will waltz on over to Mad Maggie, and I will usher our group with a kind and deep bow to say that we are leaving.
Oh, well, it's truly been a pleasure having you here, isn't it? Mm.
Quite. And I'll look over at our vehicle. How messed up
Yeah,
is it?
I want
Because
to know
you
this, too.
done, you, sir,
Well,
done
me?
that one. Yes, you.
The
Couldn't say
blue
his
bird
throat.
looks as if perhaps its eponymous bird was
Plucked?
hunted thoroughly, plucked, and gutted. There's just I mean, you can definitely see some blue.
Oh well, I guess we walk.
I mean, it does probably still work. It's just a real mess. Also, you do notice that the let's see, you have the grappling hook and the harpoon and the sticks thing, right?
Yep.
You notice two things without any sort of check, because they're both very obvious. One is that the grappling hook arm is now lying next to the war machine rather than attached to it. Fortunately, it hasn't walked off, but it is no longer attached. The other thing you notice is that there are two madcaps who are standing real close to the stick sprayer and just sort of sitting there. Sorry, sitting, not standing. Sitting real close to the stick sprayer and just sort of looking around, looking kind of confused.
And I'm going to just lay like the firmest like hand down on Captain Julius, and I will just. Do you see what you've done?
Well, what I see is that we have made our craft now. It doesn't stand out in the landscape. So
Well, that's true.
And there's just a harder grip on the
but I'm certain we can try to figure something out to get it painted blue again.
We could maybe trade what's left for a teleport spell to the spawning trees.
What about my bike?
The bike is surprisingly fine, and you have a feeling it's only because they were so busy messing with the bluebird.
And I give him a nice slap on the back to go and push him forward to go and check it out himself.
Yeah, I go check out our craft.
Go ahead and make me an intelligence investigation check.
Oh, crit.
Okay, it'll run. It looks like there's definitely, as you sort of check the furnace, there's probably how much fuel did you have left? How many hours of driving did you have left?
I think like.
We had a day when we started.
Yeah,
And
we had one
then
full day.
maybe like 18 hours left when we got to Mad Maggie's.
So the tank looks a little lower than it was before. It looks like perhaps there was some late night joyriding done. So if you had 18 hours before, you've got about 14 left now. Otherwise, though, it does look like it'll run.
If you run it backwards. Sorry.
I love it. If you attach a electric drill to the odometer meter. So yeah, it looks like it'll run. You've got less fuel. The grappling hook is disconnected. There's some kind of crud all up in the harpoon, but that's probably like you could just clean it out and it'll be fine. And of course, like the paint job is covered in viscera.
I run my finger across the viscera, give it a sniff. Like, that's not going to come out. That's definitely not going to come out. Imba.
Yes?
We may need some work to reattach the grappling arm to the craft.
Okay, I can do that. I do like that piece of equipment,
I know you're a big fan of it, so I figure you probably give it a good college try. It runs. It definitely runs. We can still use it. We're short about a few hours of fuel. Maybe about 4, 5 hours left. Less what we usually started with. So about 14 more hours to go. That means we will have to use one of those coins. I hope that doesn't pose any problems. I slowly look towards Scribbler.
Go ahead.
I would need to check the coins that we have to make sure that the souls are not evil.
Right. So, getting back to this part here, we're gonna, Captain Julius, would you just like to maybe, I don't know, help Imba put that crane back on? She can't hoist that thing up by herself,
I mean, he's not wrong. You see these? It's like her arms. It's just so thin with some wrinkles. Like strength is not her forte.
Yeah. At this point, Mickey actually sort of grunts and starts walking towards the downed grappling hook arm. And Maggie says, well, that makes sense, I suppose. You see, when my friends here, and she gestures to the Madcaps and the Redcaps, found out that you'd helped out with Mickey's affliction, they got very upset because they didn't get to watch him dance anymore. So they might have gone a little overboard with your machine over there. But don't worry, Mickey will help you get it back into tip-top shape.
Thank you, Mickey. You are just the best. Let's give Mickey a round of applause. You know what? I think we should all thank Mickey for helping us out.
Thank you, Mickey.
Maggie
Indeed.
applauds along. As she's applauding, she says, I mean, I could have stopped the madcaps, but they were having such fun.
Oh, and they're just little darlings, aren't they? Yeah.
Such sweet little ones, aren't they?
Yeah.
I
This
look
is-
down at one of them with like just the wickedest glare.
I put my hands on Charity's shoulders, like, don't. And I try to pull him.
Little
Pull him. No.
gremlins, aren't they?
Charity. Why don't we let Mickey do his work, and then we can.
Yes,
Going.
yes, right. Going.
Great.
Maggie, thank you.
Of course. So
Deep
with Mickey's help, rather, you all are able to get the thing hooked back up and the harpoon cleaned and everything sort of taken care of within about an hour or so. So not too terrible. You've got the help for it.
Perfecto.
Well, I hoist myself up to the helm and power on the machine to see how she sounds.
She sounds fine. The exhaust definitely has a smell of burned flesh to it this time. You're not sure what they might have stuck in the furnace overnight, but it seems to not be. Hey, thanks for the follow, Kyrkor.
I kind of deadpan. I look and I kind of like do like a little bit louder yell. I'm like, now I am all for jokes and pranks, but sticking a foot inside of her exhaust tank is not something I condone.
And you
just
see
kinda-
one of the red caps with one leg hopping around and just sort of cheering.
I hate this place.
I love it.
Let's
As
just-
much fun as I'm
just
having, can we
let's.
please leave Fort Knucklebone?
let's
Yes.
Let's get going.
I've enjoyed this immensely. It's time to go. All right.
I'm
So
just gonna sit at the tank at the stick sprayer tank and just give it a good knock as we're leaving. See how chock full that one is, because I'm sure they drained that a bit.
They did. So it's at about a third full at this point. They must have had a good old time with it. You're actually surprised that only two of the little creatures had apparently been sprayed with it, based on how much is left.
Are you kidding? They probably drank it like.
Cheers.
Yeah.
So you sort of head out. Imba, are you on your bike?
Didn't we have like the bike attached?
Oh, that's right. You
Right.
had that's right. And actually, Mickey helps to. You can Maggie helps you all put together some stuff, some sturdier stuff than the rope you were using, and can help you guys attach that a little more securely than it was before.
Yeah, that way it saves on the juice and we only get on it when we need to.
Totally love that. Okay, so as you leave, Lulu sort of is sitting with you all, and once you're a little ways out of Fort Knucklebone, she says, "So we're going to the spawning trees, you said, and we're getting what? We're getting a what are we doing? What are we doing?"
Charity is interested in getting rods.
Oh, sure. That's not
Balls and rods. Yes.
That's not Ball
right.
like the old the big the one that used to run this place, is it? Wouldn't
That was a slip of his tongue. He said balls and rods. There are apparently rods stuck in trees and little ball-like creatures that run about.
Go ahead and make me a charisma deception check, because that's a load of hooey.
Correct. Uno momento per piacere. That is deception, you say?
Please.
Okie dokie. That's +5. Okay, so that's an 18.
All right, let's have that. It's not the die I want to use. It is large and
Uh,
heavy. Yes.
I am in fact going to tell her that is not true.
She just sort of nods and whispers to you, "Oh, I know. Thanks, Scribbler. Basically, I'm gonna always just sort of stand next to you when Charity's speaking."
That is not unexpected.
She's sort of warming up to you, but she's a lawful good celestial. She's much more comfortable with Scribbler, and she absolutely knows that you're lying, but she's gonna let it go for now. And she says, well, that's weird. I mean, cool. So then what? What's your plan? What are you folks can we look? I think this sword is the key to my memories. I just want to go ahead and throw that out there right now, and I would really appreciate y'all's help.
So if you don't mind,
We're absolutely going to help you do that.
Okay.
110%. Like that was never a question.
what can you tell us more about this sword though? This sounds very interesting. I don't know if it's too much for you too, of course.
No, it's okay. I remember little bits. I remember, and she starts to sort of think, and you can see that she sort of still has a smile from you all immediately agreeing to sort of help her find it. And, I've lost my place. Here it is. And as she sort of thinks about it, she closes her eyes and she said, okay, so it's a really beautiful and powerful sword. Why is it gonna help?
Because it belonged to Zarian?
And her eyes get really big as you say that, and all of a sudden she sort of stiffens and she nods and she says, wait, I remember. And she's clearly remembering something else for a moment, and she thinks and she says, it belonged to Zariel, but the Zariel I knew is gone. She's been replaced by a devil with a halo of fire and vengeance. The last thing she ever said to me, she said, this is who I am. When demons die, they cry out my name in terror. That was the last thing she ever said to me.
Scribbler.
Yeah.
Does this go along with what you've been trying to conclude?
Somewhat. I still don't have an answer to my question. But I have more information.
Now, this is another question I'm going to ask you, Scribbler. For the sake of our dearest friend Lulu here, whatever has happened to her dearest Ariel, could it be reversed?
That is an interesting question. The presumption is that what was done can be undone, depending on the level of difficulty involved is the only defining factor. For instance, if she has changed her base nature, and I do not know how to change it, but it was changed, so it can be done. If she has not changed her base nature and is under an effect, we can simply relieve the effect. But I don't know. The magic level of this is beyond me. This is the stuff of gods. Asmodeus, ruler of hell, is a god. He has access to some things that I don't. That said, I am interested in finding out more information to further explore the idea.
Well, my curiosity has been piqued. I think we should look into this a bit more and see what we can do to not only obtain this sword, but see if it does lay some kind of key in helping out her Lulu's friend.
Lulu sort of nods along and says, I think I might be able to help figure that out too, but I'm going to need more of my memories back, and I think this sword is the way to do that, so...
And we're in a race, because Mad Maggie, or the hag, certainly saw the same memory we did. She will be seeking it as well. She wants an advantage on Zariel. And that was the whole purpose in having us help Lulu as far as she was concerned. It gave her an advantage on Zariel.
And that being said, by association, she will not be the only one then looking for it.
No, but she'll have an advantage on the other devils in that regard.
All right. Well, I'm not used to being on a wanted list. Well, let's keep on going, trying to find this sword, and hopefully keep the advantage we have an advantage.
Indeed. And in Celestial, I will say to Lula, I will do everything in my power to assist you and protect you.
Oh, thank you, Scribbler. Thank you all for being willing to help. There's just so much I don't remember, but I think it's all important, and I... Well, anyway, thank you.
Well, aren't you a little darling?
She sort of... Her ears sort of perk up at that, and she ruffles and gives out a smile, which she's been smiling pretty much constantly since you all helped her. She definitely was not smiling when she remembered Zariel's last words to her, but that brings her smile back a little bit.
I hope one day Imba pulls out some grandma candy.
You know, I think I might actually have some.
Would that be Werther's?
Yes. Look, I have enjoyed Werther since I was a wee Todd, so... all right.
Yeah, I was going to say, she actually takes out a little candy.
Yes, she does.
The wrapper looks like a little strawberry.
You have no idea where she gets them.
Oh my god, yeah.
She just procures them.
We're going to explore that later on. Excellent. Okay, so the trip to the spawning trees, you all sort of do your best to follow the map, but of course, as we have mentioned, the geography of Avernus is not exactly immutable. So it takes a little while. You do get the sense eventually of the general direction that you need to head in. And really, the biggest obstacle that sort of comes your way is that you get to a point where it seems as if you're going to have to cross the River Styx, which is, of course, not an easy proposition, and I'm curious how you go about it. So at this point, you have found yourselves on the shores of the River Styx, as we've mentioned, all up and down, spaced so that, from any one of these, you can see at least one on either side are these sort of guard towers. Some of them look manned, that you've noticed. Some of them look like they've got people in them. Some of them look completely empty. But other than that, there are a few places where there are these strange sort of, they look like big metal-like clamps that come out from the sides and sort of meet, not meet in the middle, but like have a gap in the middle. They sort of come towards each other in the middle of the river. So aside from the guard towers and these strange sort of clamp docking station looking things, there's not really any structures that cross the river or bridges or anything like that. At least that you've seen.
A terrible suggestion.
No such thing as terrible suggestions. No such thing as terrible suggestions at all. Just
Please do
suggestions
say.
with bad outcomes.
Well, there should be a possibility of a mechanical solution to this issue that would be hazardous to our hells, but could actually accomplish our goal.
Do tell. Oh, please. I'm so excited to hear this one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we entreat upon Imba's prodigious engineering capabilities.
Yes. Oh, so now you're trying to flatter me.
To convert our grappling hook to a conveyance of sorts, possibly best described as a catapult.
Ah! We're
We
thinking
did
the
just
same
reinforce
thing.
it pretty well.
We did. But I do like that idea. If it
I
worked.
do not, but it is an idea that has some validity.
I mean, you guys feel free to do that. I'm gonna just mosey my way through it, or rather, past it.
No.
Well, before we decide to take it to the wild, and I look up, red yonder over this river. Perhaps we should fill up the tank while we have the chance.
A good point made, Captain. always looking out for the betterment of the ship.
Oh, the stick sprayer tank, not the fuel tank. I got you.
Yeah.
Yes.
When Charlie says that, I'm like, yeah. Yeah.
All right, and how? Who fills the tank, and how do you do it?
Well, let's see. How do we fill this tank up? Is there a?
Does it have a nozzle to spray
yeah.
from?
It does
Like
have a
a
nozzle to
hose?
spray. It does. Mm-hmm.
Does it? Is there any kind of like intake portion for this?
It doesn't look like it. Not particularly obviously. No.
Okay, we definitely need to fill this.
Does it have like a tank that you can pop the lid up?
That
off of?
it does have. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait a second. Hold on. I
I'm
might have
not
a spell
saying
for
I
this.
want one of you to get feeble-minded by the river Styx. I'm just saying it would be funny.
I got you. Give me a minute. Give me 10 seconds.
Not it.
Not a yeah.
Yes.
Oh no, that will destroy it. Never mind.
Oh.
How big is it?
I got nothing.
The tank?
Yeah.
It's probably, I don't know, like water cooler, like maybe 2 water cooler water tank things. Do you know what I'm talking about? For some reason, my
Gatorade.
brain is not.
Big ol'-
The Gatorade sports
Yeah.
drink ones.
Yeah, it's like 2 of those, essentially the size of like 2 of those side by side.
Is there any kind of like buckets on the craft?
Roll percentile. See if there's like a dipper that you're meant to
Yeah.
refill this thing with.
It's just a ladle.
What was the number? I'm sorry.
16.
No.
I was gonna say, if you get me one of those can of beans that we tried to eat that tasted terrible, I could weld a few sticks on the end and we could just scoop it up. But that might take a while.
Coming from someone who has spooned water out of a very, very overflowing dishwasher before, yes, that will take so long.
Oh dear.
It was the
God.
worst thing that ever happened. Anyway, dishwashing detergent and just regular dish soap are 2 very different things, people. Please keep that in mind.
Oh dear.
Good safety tip. I
You know
guess.
what?
Anyway,
it's
getting
looking-
back to real.
It's looking like when we stole this craft, we didn't consider any way to refill the Styx tank.
Well, you haven't had to up to this point. So.
Yeah.
Well, we'll find a bucket soon.
Yeah, I suppose so. Let's move on then.
Wait, hold on. How much scrap did we wind up getting?
Oh, yes. How much scrap did we end
You
up?
got a fair bit of scrap. I mean, I don't know how to measure scrap, but you've got a fair bit of it.
Okay.
You could.
I was gonna say, can we just like bang out a little like bowl-esque situation from the
Sure.
scrap and try and? Do
Yeah.
you have that spell that you can drift a spectral hand and grab things with?
Yes, I have the capability. However, there is a limit to how much weight it can carry.
Well, I can do the same thing. What if we maybe
If
both
the
do it?
2 of you
Make
carried it
two
together,
hands. I
If
don't know if it'll work or not. That I haven't tried.
that would carry about 20 pounds.
and that's a lot of water.
That is a lot of water.
That is actually not a lot of water.
Oh,
I
Water's
mean,
pretty heavy.
Water is remarkably heavy.
It really is.
like per bowl scoop, I feel like you'd be fine. Anyway, while we're deliberating on this, I'm going to go and can we see that city being dragged down into the river Styx yet?
Oh yeah,
from
you
here,
can,
from
yeah,
where
you
we
can
are.
see it. I mean, unless there's like a feature that is blocking your view, it's high enough up that you can see it from just about anywhere that you've been so far.
Roughly how high up?
Oh, that's a good question. It's a good ways still, but let's see.
I
Go ahead while I look this up. Go ahead.
I have proficiency in cartographer tools.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be possible for me to estimate, based off of the perspective and everything, how far away it is?
I should think so. Go ahead and make me an intelligence check with proficiency for those tools.
And because it's a racer feature, I get to add a D4.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
Nice.
Or, that could...
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
You know what? I will bardically inspire you.
Can you bardically inspire me after the fact?
It's a little late for an inspiration,
Yeah.
Never mind then. You
So I rolled a 1.
Oh, dear.
Although I did get a 4 on my D4.
Small mercies. So the problem, right, is that though you are quite good at this, like, perspective in Avernus, because of the ever-changing landscape, is sort of difficult to... Trigonometry doesn't work quite as well here as it does on the material plane, let's say.
I just kind of do that thumb trick where I'm like, all right, that's about...
Yeah, I'm like,
far.
Oh, that's... We'll never reach that.
Yeah. It's a ways away, and why, for the life of me, I can't figure out how high up it is, so I'm just going to make up a number
Cool.
and say that it's, definitely several hundred feet up in the air. I'd say probably at least 500 feet up at this point.
500 feet up? Okay.
Yeah.
Give me one moment, please.
Oh, dear. See, this is why I hesitate to make up a number, because you have a reason that you want to know.
While
Wonderful. You guys want me to go and check out what's going on in the city?
It's also, I will also say, it's not like, it's 500 feet up in the air from the river. It's also not, it's not super close to where you are unless you purposely drove towards it, which wasn't in the direction of the spawning trees.
Yeah.
So, you can absolutely still do that. It'll just take you a while.
I'm saying soon. I'm not saying
Gotcha.
now.
Well, not
I'm saying
right now.
soon.
I think soon we will need to figure out what exactly is going on in that city.
And I'm just letting you guys know I have the capability of getting one of us up there.
Oh, wonderful.
Excellent.
Wonderful.
Oh,
We'll circle
I found
back
it.
to
It
that.
is, in fact, it is 500 feet. I'm good.
Well, we will definitely circle back to that one if we need to check out the city. But
Yes,
now
so-
we need to worry about getting over this river.
How close are we to what we presume is the spawning trees?
So it actually, you can sort of see just over a little rise, you can see the top of what look like some strange, like, bone white looking trees. It's probably not too far, but it is on the other side of the river.
Alrighty. Well, whomst wants to head on over there? I'll offer myself. I'll head on over there, check things out, see how good we're looking. And I know I'm looking great.
Oh my god.
Just
Yeah, you
check
are.
on things out.
You're
Check
always
things
looking
out over there.
fabulous, honey.
Oh,
Just like goes down, grabs her hands. Thank you. Now,
You're welcome.
anybody else wanna?
I'll go with you, Charity.
Okay. Do you have your own means of transportation?
No, but how wide is the river Styx?
Maybe like 7,500 feet across.
Ooh.
75 or
Ooh.
100, not 7,500. I'm so sorry.
Oh.
That sounded like I said 7,500.
Wow.
No. 75
Oh dear.
dash
I was about to be
100.
like, I don't think we can catapult over that.
So sorry.
I can get over there in about 6 seconds if I have to.
Oh yeah, I definitely have no way to get across that. All right, we'll definitely need to all go together, regardless. If you are the only one, and to be honest, Charity, I'd rather you did not go out there alone.
Why? Are
Can't
you
imagine.
saying I'm not trustworthy? How dare you?
I'm suggesting
wouldn't
that
say
you would
that
be
ex-
eaten by random devils.
That's what I was actually leaning more towards that one right there.
They can't catch me if I'm in the air, silly.
No, I think I've seen some of them with wings.
I'm fairly confident that a large number of them have wings. Have you seen the wasps?
Also that.
I think they can jump very high too.
Yes. And they have spells.
Well, I mean, so do I. It's just a matter of if they can hit me or not. They can definitely hit me.
Hey. Follow Matthias Matheson. Oh my goodness.
I'm just gonna take like an eye out to the other side of the river Styx. Do I see anything over there in particular that might catch my eye? Because my range of a spell that I have is decently far. It's 120 feet out at its maximum range. I just want to see if I can pinpoint anything.
I really wish I had picked a different spell.
I don't think so. I don't think there's anything particularly close to the river at this point, which is great because that means you all are not sort of, being harried across and having to do anything particularly hasty. But no, you don't notice anything within 120 feet.
Good.
So catapult?
Let's do this catapult then. Gosh, I'm gonna regret this.
I'll have fun. I'll be how about I try and waylay us as air support? So if any of you are going over, me and my frail, wimpy arms can try and pick you up and maybe get us over to the other side if we can so try.
I have the utmost confidence in you.
Wait
and
a second. I look over at Evie, the mass of hulking muscle, and I'm just like,
I have an idea. I do have, without her spending one of those rune thingies, I can make her big.
oh, no. I was gonna have her fly. Evie, you wanna fly?
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
she
only
just
thing
nods
is-
very happily.
You take me over there first.
She agrees.
Let's do this. And I grab her on both sides of the biceps, and I'm just like, fly, you fool.
All right, excellent. Yeah, that's a totally fine solution. It lasts for an hour, right?
It lasts for, it's concentration for up to 10 minutes.
10 minutes,
I
sorry.
believe.
Great. Well, that's plenty of time for her to ferry the five of you back and forth. Obviously, Lulu can fly her own way over.
Well, are we just gonna leave our, vehicles here?
Oh.
Sure.
Can
Uh-huh.
anyone carry them? That's a...
No.
You want to pick up a car?
I don't look like I can pick up a car, but one thing I can do.
Tell you what.
Please
I will
tell me you
protect
can
them.
Make it tiny. Please please tell me you can make it tinier.
I actually can make them tiny.
Oh,
But they still weigh the same, I think.
Pocket car. That
so dense.
You're carrying that would pierce the earth.
Yeah.
Scribbler, what was your idea?
All right. Give me a moment. I start drawing a circle around the vehicle on the ground.
Oh boy.
Takes me a minute.
Lulu sort of follows you around, watching you closely.
Yeah, Imba's like really curiously like watching what you're doing, like, huh.
And I'm sprinkling some silver powder on the ground. I can't cast this often, but
Oh boy.
magic circle
Oh, I wondered if that's what
Oh.
you were doing. Yeah,
Right.
I love it.
targeting against fiends.
Yes. I love it.
Smart.
I watched it. Like, so Scribble, how long would this last?
An hour.
I guess we're on the clock then.
Yes.
There is something
I'm over
else.
on the other side like, what's going on?
We're making a circle.
There's something I can do. I could do another thing as well. It'll last about 8 hours or so, and I'll need about 10 minutes. But if anybody starts messing with it, it'll let us know.
Okay.
So I will go ahead and spend a first level spell slot to cast alarm. Oh wait, no, I'm going to do it as a ritual.
As a
Never mind.
ritual,
Yeah. So
Great.
take 10 minutes.
Great.
So I cast alarm on it. So if anybody messes with it, it'll send a mental alarm to me.
So we're just gonna sort of we're gonna
We have a
work
car
some,
alarm.
we're gonna work some time magic here and say that both of that was done before Charity cast Fly on Evie and started ferrying you all back and forth, which is fine.
Got it.
And then you ferry over. Great. So we got a magic circle and an alarm spell. I love that. So
Carefully ferry us across.
yes,
Like
she just upped her strength to 20, so I think we're not gonna have a problem with any of you, to be honest, getting across. So
Charity, tiny.
yeah. So she gets you over there, and like I said, the spawning trees seem to be just on the other side of a little rise. And you get over there, and who carries? I assume the answer is Scribbler, but who carries the map that you all have been using?
Scribbler, I think.
Thanks for
Yeah.
definitely using it the whole time. Yeah.
Scribbler, make me real quick a wisdom perception check, please.
Sure. Although, that's not bad at all.
All right.
Perception. So 22.
Oh, damn. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So you hear a voice coming from your pack.
Hmm?
And with that, you can very clearly hear the voice saying, demons beget demons. Where their filth lands, they spawn ever more corruption.
Scribbly, you say something?
I believe that the map was talking.
No, really. Did you say something?
Have I, at any point, given you the impression that I am capable of humor?
No, at all whatsoever. In fact,
Just
I feel
now.
like if you ever attempted to make a joke, you would injure yourself. But
I assure you, in certain circles, I'm considered hilarious. However, in this particular case, I was not the one speaking. It was, I think, my map.
I see. Let's see what the
We're
map.
on the other side. We're not in transit.
Yes, you're on the other side.
I take out the map and
So you see immediately that there seems to be like a little a scorch mark ring around where the spawning trees are marked on the map.
okay. Well, that is a change.
Oh. Could that have been from our lovely little hag?
She did show you where it was with the scorch, but not like this. This is a different one.
No.
And it glowing softly.
Yeah, I think that given the words that were spoken, we may be encountering demons when we get closer. Be
Fun,
prepared.
let's head on in. Just like summons the sword and is like, oh, and then pulls out the rod that I have. He's like, let's get to work, folks.
All right, well, let's go. Allons-y, as they say.
Is that Elvish for something?
So
I'm
you
not-
all
It's
head up over the rise.
undercommon. It's undercommon for let's go.
You head up over the rise, and when you sort of crest this rise, you can see very clearly a cluster of what you thought when you could just see the top of them were trees, but you realize pretty quickly that to call them trees would be an insult to the trees of the material plane. Tree-like growths. More concerning, though, is the fact that they're sort of growing on the shoreline of this strange-looking lake of bubbling black goo, which you all immediately recognize, having sort of come up close and personal with it some time ago when you got your infernal war bike, as demonic ichor. The tree growths are formed from this same ichor. You can see sort of they're just growing right out of it. And each of them has these writhing membranous sacs budding from its limbs. What you also notice are 5 bearded fiends, devils, it appears, heaping coals around the trunks of one of the trees. And as they hurl more coals onto this makeshift pyre, 4 of them are sort of, it seems like, schoolyard bully cruelly poking and teasing the 5th member of their little infernal group.
Have I mentioned that I am displeased with our locations?
Being hell or here?
Hell.
Specifically in hell. Ah, yes, often.
Just thought I should reiterate for greater clarity.
Should we not hail them? No? No? No.
I don't see this encounter going well for us, whether we hail them or not.
I mean, it wouldn't
Then best-
benefit us in any way.
To walk on up as quietly as possible?
Oh, yes.
Sure.
Just start walking.
I will be sneaky.
All right. Anyone who is
As shall
approaching
I.
with any measure of stealth, go ahead and make me a dexterity stealth check. Evie can certainly try if you like. She's not super good at that, especially with her armor, but she'll try.
Well, I mean, apparently neither am I.
I got a 24.
7.
Oh, I'm not rolling for Evie because I don't want to be responsible. I said that earlier.
Well,
I got it.
Oh,
Right. Unless, Jeremiah, you want to go up?
yeah, I rolled for Evie.
Great.
I got a
Cool.
17 on the die. I don't know what her...
It's +4, but she has disadvantage because of her chainmail.
Sure. Oh, I didn't know I get to roll twice. Well, 17 and a natural 20.
Okay, 17 it is. So shockingly, which is way better than I rolled, Evie gets a 21. Jeremiah
And-
got a great number. Sorry, not Jeremiah. I'm blanking on all of your names. Captain, what's your name?
Yes.
Julius, yeah,
Julius,
24.
thank you. J is y'all.
All of
24.
you guys.
Okay,
24, yeah.
Scribbler.
3.
Okay, great. Imba.
19.
All right. And Charity.
Big fat 7.
Okay. We'll say group check rules, and so it's not the quietest, but the 2 of you who have some trouble being sneaky are aided by your friends. So you're able to get quite a bit closer. You see little paths and like pathways that have been built from what look like bones through this lake of demon ichor. As you get closer, you notice a couple of things about these devils. The first thing is that there seems to be a little pack, like a pile of pouches, backpacks, whatever, off to one side, near to where the pyre that they're building is, but not obviously close enough to get burned. And the other thing you notice is that the devils who are teasing the 5th devil keep poking it with some sort of long stick. And let me have all of you make wisdom perception checks, please, to notice a couple of things.
So my base is 18, so I will go with that.
Quite good, yes.
I got a 12.
A 12, all right.
Yeah.
Imba?
So even though my passive perception is 19, guess who rolled in that one?
You're just so fascinated by the goo at your feet that you're not even bothering to pay attention ahead of you.
I'm probably debating whether or not to pocket some for my bike.
Charity?
I rolled a 2, so I'll take my passive,
Okay.
which is 13.
Great. So in that case, Charity and Captain Julius and Scribbler, all 3 of you can see pretty clearly that the stick that they're teasing this devil with, and that they seem to be trying to get him to take, is another one of the rods. Scribbler, you notice a couple of other things. One, you notice that one of the packs over in the pile of backpacks that apparently belong to these devils, one of them is moving, just sort of like jerking and moving back and forth as if something alive is in it. The other thing that you notice is that sort of scattered about, and there's not a ton of them, but scattered about this area, you can see, and you notice it because occasionally one of the other devils will like poke this one devil with the stick and then use the rod to point at one of these creatures, and they are quite horrible looking. These strange... Oh, where is my... Oh, man. Anyway.
I think I have the card for them.
I have the art up on the screen. I had a name tile for them, but it didn't work. Anyway, they are these strange, small creatures. These sort of fleshy, red, bipedal creatures. They are about the size of small birds. And they're just sort of wandering around, occasionally lapping up the ichor of the lake, and just generally making sort of horrible noises.
Is that what I think it is?
Mm-hmm.
A tasty morsel. In a moment. We'll get those in a moment. Just keep eyes on the food, eyes on the prize now. I am laser lock focused on that rod that one of the guys is poking the other one with.
I don't suppose we will be trying negotiation.
If I can help it, we could. But if push comes to sword, I will sword.
The bag, it's definitely moving, right?
Well, only Scribbler has noticed that so
okay.
far.
Yeah.
Okay.
I care not.
There is a question of what an abyssal chicken sounds like.
Yes, I saw that. Oh, Ish, why do you do these things to me? I'll come up with a good sound, and we will address that as it comes. Oh my God, there it is. There it is. Yes, all of that is correct. All of that is correct. Oh, yes.
Each one has a different one. That's how you can tell them apart.
Yes, that's correct.
That's how you tell the various chickens from different regions.
Absolutely correct. You know what I will also say, Scribbler? I will also say that with that, because you rolled, it was a 20 plus, right, with your perception this time? Or sorry, not Scribbler. Somebody rolled a 20 plus, didn't they?
No.
That was
stealth.
Oh, that was stealth. Got it. Okay, then never mind. I take it back.
No,
what
mine,
you see in here.
Mine was 18.
Okay, great. Yeah. All right, that's what you see in here at this point, then.
All right. Ish is very happy with.
Yes, he is.
All right, then. Well.
Maybe we can do what we could do is perhaps distract these little guys in some form of fashion.
The little ones? The tiny little...
The devils. Maybe distract them.
The devils, right.
Yes.
No.
If
we distract them, I don't want that rod going anywhere.
That's also true.
So should I start things?
I look over at Scribbler like...
They're evil.
I put a hand out to shake his hand. Let's start things.
I am impressed by this.
All right. In that case, I will start things. Okay. I step forward.
And I start charging as he starts going to cast his spell.
And I say, it is time for you to go.
Let's boogie.
Let's go.
And I cast lightning bolt.
Amazing. Okay, let's do this. You all will get a surprise round because your stealth was excellent coming in overall as a group. But let's go ahead and roll initiative so we can get some order here.
Hell yeah! Whoop! And I threw that right off the table.
I actually got a decent initiative for a change.
All right, what'd you get, Scribbler?
19.
19. All right. Imba.
13.
13. Julius.
26.
26. Charity.
Natural 20 for a 22.
22. Whoops. Someone want to roll for Evie?
I got it.
Her bonus is a +4.
That's a 23 for Evie.
Damn.
That was a crit and then a 19.
Well,
where were these rolls before?
right?
Good question there.
Almost certainly going last, but let's go ahead.
I'm hoping I got my flub out of my system for the night.
Yeah.
Day, rather.
One of them's not going dead last.
It'll be dead, though.
All right.
Not
There's no
last.
need to...
No need to kill the devils.
I didn't say that.
In hell.
7. Okay.
Love this.
So, surprise round. We'll do this. We'll do this here. Julius, anything? At the top of the surprise round, or just sort of waiting to watch Scribbler blow them out of. Into
I am going to wait to watch Scribbler
Great.
pretty much zot them out of the air.
Yeah.
And if that one with the rod fries up to a crisp, I want to try to dash in with a bonus action to grab the rod and pull back and try to give it back to Charity.
Okay, so what we'll do, so if you're going to hold an action, you can only hold an action, so you'll hold a dash, which is totally fine, and taking the rod doesn't need to be an action. If you can get up to it, that's fine.
Okay.
Great. Got it. Evie is going to just sort of hang out and wait to see what's happening. Charity, you're running in.
Yeah, I'm going to take a wide arc around the side as to not get zapped.
Okay, so there's definitely the bone paths and such in this area. You can definitely take a side one. It'll take you a little longer to get around. It'll probably be about 70 feet or so that you'll have to go to actually get into them, but not a problem. So you could dash and get most of that way without ever being in the path of the lightning bolt.
Cool. I'll take my just my movement.
Okay.
And then if possible, I'll just take like a couple steps forward and then just a quick 5 feet to the right.
Okay.
And just like prep. How far away were they?
I mean, they're probably about 45 feet if you go the direct route.
Cool. 45 feet?
Sure.
Wonderful. I will run up 25 feet and then take 5 feet to the right. And I will hold an Eldritch Blast. Actually, no. I'll hold a Lightning Lure
Okay.
to see if I can pull that one with the rod in.
All right. Scribbler.
If they start charging.
Great.
Yeah.
Scribbler, let's...
All right. We're having a full surprise round here. So,
yeah.
First things first.
Oh, boy.
A bonus action.
Uh-huh.
I look at the one holding the rod and say, "Tell me your name."
Oh, I like this. Okay, let's see. Wisdom save, right? Oh, doesn't matter. That's a 2 on the die.
Yeah.
So the one with the rod, they have at this point finally shoved the rod into the one that they've been teasing's name, and that one's name is Crickendolt.
Crickendolt. Well, so one of the effects of this ability is he is charmed by me.
Oh.
By till the end of my next turn.
Okay.
So, and as a free action, says come here.
And you see this devil look over to you, and his eyes get real big, and you can't be sure, but he almost looks hopeful and happy to see you. But that sort of makes sense because you've charmed him.
And I'm going to angle my lightning bolt to hit the rest.
Great. Yeah, why not? I think you can get 3 of the 4 of them without any trouble in a straight line. I think they're not very good they weren't expecting a lightning bolt, so that's no problem. What is it? Dex saves, yeah?
Yes.
Been a minute since we did a lightning bolt. Okay.
Yeah.
So many D6.
That is a 15 to save.
My save DC is 16.
Okay, so that fails. That's an 8, and that's a 21. So one of them saves.
So one of them saves.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, hold on. They are bearded devils. They all have advantage. So let's see. I rolled 3, so... nope, that one that saved fails, because they actually got a 9. And then the third and final one... Oh, that one did save, though. That one got a 17, even with advantage.
Okay. Still, it's 8d6.
It's not insignificant.
Yeah.
Ain't no joke.
They will know they have been dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yes. Oh, I love the sound of a pile of d6s getting rolled.
All right. So 12, 16, 20, 30 points of damage.
Oh, all right.
Ooh.
That is the total, right? That's not already halved.
Yeah, that's
86 could not do 60 because that's how math works.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah.
I love that. Woof. Okay, so this lightning bolt just rips through the air. The retort, the thunder that follows it is just earth-shaking, particularly considering how close most of you are to it. And it
I'm like,
sears through 3 of them, who sort of at the last minute kind of get out of the way, but like not well enough by any means. All right, they are alerted to your presence, but Imba, you do still get to act.
All right. So I reach into one of my bags and I take out what looks like a little ball. Looks similar to a grenade. And I put a little key and I twist it and I toss it.
Oh no.
Because I've never revealed what kind of
It's true. Of
artificer I...
It's true.
Is
Oh boy.
The little grenade that drops gets 3 legs and it becomes a little turret. So it basically like opens up.
I love it.
I love it.
Because I'm making it be a little force ballista.
Yes, I love that.
So I think it can attack when I summon it.
I think that
Randy's
is true.
got a
I
pet.
haven't looked in a while, but I think that's true.
Turret
Oh
going
no,
up.
it's a bonus action to activate.
Okay.
So it's probably I summon it and then my bonus action to activate it as part of the same action. I can direct it to walk or climb. And it makes a ranged spell attack against just one of the ones that's not holding the rod.
Okay, great. One of the ones that got hit by the lightning bolt?
Yes.
Absolutely.
That fell out of my thing, but that's okay because I can read it. It's probably going to fail.
What'd you get?
13.
13 actually does hit these.
Oh!
They're not wearing any
Okay.
armor. So what is this? Tell me more about this turret and what it looks like and what it looks like when it fires, because I love this.
So it looks like a little grenade that kind of popped open. So there's like an inner ring.
Uh-huh.
And it has 3 little legs. And it kind of like starts vibrating. It looks like it might just kind of fall to pieces.
Standard.
And-
Yep. Mhm.
Yep. And hold on a moment. Let me mark this off on my
What kind of weapon does it attack with? Is it like
force.
it's force?
So like a force cannon on top. Oh my god, I love
So yeah,
it.
it's a little
Nice.
force cannon. So it does 2d8 force damage on a hit.
Nice.
And if the target is a creature, it is pushed 5 feet.
Okay.
So
Nice.
2d8.
I love it. Yeah, I love how overall pretty well the Artificer makes use of the bonus action economy for the Artificer without
Yeah,
sort of
nice.
ruining their ability to do anything else.
Exactly. So
Absolutely.
that's going to be 12 points of force damage.
Woo,
And
okay.
it's-
Ooh.
And it gets shoved back, which of course sort of creates this domino effect because the 3 of them are all standing pretty close to each other. So they all sort of stumble backwards as this little cannon fires into the one in front. All right, so they are aware of you. They are a little confused about what's happening, but we are back to the top of the round, this time with the devils getting to take their actions when we get to them, but we start with Julius. So Julius, you are up. The one that has the rod is looking towards Scribbler and definitely looks like all he wants is to come to you all and get out of there.
I'm going to let Scribbler handle that.
Okay.
And I'm going to run up to one of the devils, specifically the one that got pushed back.
Okay.
And to like kind of like keep myself away from the other one, so my sneak attack stuff can get kicked in. So I run up to pulling out my rapier.
Well, they're all sort of clustered together at this point because they all got shoved together, unfortunately.
Okay. All right. Well, still, I'm gonna run up to the.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna attack with my rapier.
Do it.
That's 9 plus
stabs.
A plus 9 plus 7. That is a 16 to hit.
16 will do.
Nice.
Do I get sneak attack damage with it?
I don't think so because it either has to be just you and the enemy or another ally nearby, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so not this time because they've got allies. They've got their allies close by.
Got it. Well, that's max damage.
Yes.
So that is 14 piercing damage.
Yes. All right. So Captain Julius runs up on these bone plankings and steps in, stabs. Did you say 14?
Yeah, 14.
All right. 14 math. All righty.
And then my fancy footwork kicks in.
Yes.
So I kind of like take 5 feet back away from the devil group.
Excellent. I love it. Derp. Next up is Evie. Charity is on deck, so I think Evie will start to make her way in towards the fray, because, she loves a good fray. Let's see. Is she going to activate any of her runes? I don't know that she really needs to at this point. What do you all think? She can activate runes to gain resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage, or to have advantage on attack rolls, saving throws, and ability checks, or to increase her strength, or she can get real big.
I think she'd take the advantage on attack saves.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's been consistent with her behavior so far.
Got it. So she is going
That's
to...
the profit one?
That is the Uvar Storm rune, yes. Enter the prophetic state. So she's going to activate that then. Until the state ends, when she or another creature she can see within 60 feet... Oh, so that's all of you. Make an attack roll or a saving throw or ability check. She can use her reaction to cause the roll to have advantage or disadvantage. Excellent.
Oh, yep. Nice.
So she'll do that. And it's Evie, so I think she probably uses her action to dash and get right up to them, even though she can't attack this turn.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. All right. Charity, you are up. Scribbler, you're on deck. Evie and Julius are right there in the fray.
This one who seems like he's afraid of what's going down and wants to get out. He's holding the rod, yeah?
Yes, correct.
Cool. How close is he to me?
Well, you ran in... Now, did you
ran in 30 feet.
Did you go around like you were going to?
I went straight forward and then took a step to the right so that I wasn't in the line of fire with a lightning bolt.
Got it. So maybe 15, 20 feet?
Cool. I'll run up the 15 feet to him and I'll just be like,
come with me if you want to
we're
live.
here to help. Yes, we're here to help.
I'm sorry.
Exactly. Yeah, no, just that.
Okay, great.
I put the rod away as I'm running up, and I'm like, we're here to help. Come with us.
He just sort of nods. And you can see at this point, I didn't put an image up for these things, but these are clearly bearded devils. They have these long beards that have these awful looking spikes at the end. But the rest of them have their beards that are sort of animating and writhing all over the place, but his are just sort of hanging limp, and he just sort of nods. All right. Anything else, Charity?
I'll turn around him, and then I'll take the rest of my movement to get up into combat right up next to Julius, and I will use a bonus action for a let's say, yeah, branding smite. Why not? Use my legacy, and I'll then just take a swing with the sword
Love it.
with my act blade.
Do the swing.
That is a 13 on the die plus
That'll
many.
do. Yeah, that'll do.
So that's 1d8 plus 2d6 for branding smite.
Mhm.
6, 7, 8.
All right. So,
Plus, what's my attack bonus? 4, I think. Plus 4. So yeah, 12.
all right. 12. Let me
12 points of damage. And 2 of those are from branding smite,
which is fire.
which is, I think, radiant.
I think it's radiant.
Yep.
Okay, great.
2d6 radiant damage. So he
All right,
takes
excellent.
2 radiant damage.
Excellent. All right. That is enough. Like, you slice through this creature that's already been fried by a lightning bolt and stabbed by Julius and blown up by Imba, and you just slice through his chest, and he looks the worse for wear, but he's okay, and then the cut that your sword created sort of flares with radiant energy, which just burns him from the inside out, and down he falls. And he sort of he screams very upset, because as all of you are no doubt aware, devils that die in Avernus die for reals. All right.
You die in the game, you die in the
I was about to say that.
All right, Scribbler, you are up. Crick and Dolt is on deck, and then Imba.
All right, so I am going to step around for a better angle, and I'm going to look at another one of the bearded devils, and again, bonus action. Just tell me your name.
All right. That's a little better. That is a 16. Wisdom, right?
Yep, and my DC is 16.
Okay. This one's name escapes you, but only barely.
Okay. And then I will do another casting of lightning bolts.
Absolutely. Now, you have some friends in the fray, so let's see. I think it is reasonable that you could hit 2 of them without taking out either of your friends. You could hit all 3, but you'll have to hit but either Captain Julius or Evie will be in the line as well.
Oh.
But you can hit 2 without touching either of them.
Well, yeah, I'll take out 2 of them.
All right.
And actually, I'll go ahead and use a 4th level slot for this.
Oof. All right.
So,
well, one of them got a 21 to save, and the other one got a 12. So one of them big failed.
okay. So, let's see here. So, 96.
Another even bigger lightning bolt cracks through the area.
Oh wow!
Oh boy!
Spicy.
Nice.
So 16 plus
Some crispy devils.
26.
Oh boy!
Plus
The real question
Plus-
is, are the chickens fried?
30.
Not yet, but oh boy, you just wait.
26. So 35.
35. All right, so this one's going to take full, which means it is not looking good. And half is going to be 17. Oh, neither of those two is looking great. And one of them just looks ready to peace out. Not looking good. Anything else, Scribbler, on your turn after this enormous crack of lightning?
Well, he did guide over the one with the rod.
He did.
I will, reach out and grab the rod from him.
That one hasn't had a turn yet to come to you, but he's about to.
Okay. Yeah, I'll save my sort of Can I save an action to do that? Is that a thing?
To take the rod?
Yeah.
I mean, you use your action to cast lightning bolt, but I'm not going to worry about it being a rod to take an action to take the rod from him once he gets to you for reasons that we will see very shortly.
Yeah.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. So is that the end of your turn?
Yeah.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but the charm now at this point wears off, right?
Correct.
Okay, Crickendult is going to run over to you anyway. Run towards you, just like beard sort of flapping frantically, being careful not to hit any of your allies, Scribbler, as he sort of runs over the bone bridge and gets right up to you, and just sort of sees you eyeing the rod and just hands it to you and says in Infernal, "Get me out of here."
Okay, that was not expected.
I think that's all Crickendult's going to do on his turn. So, Imba, you are up.
All right, so we just have how many left?
There are 3 left. One of them looks like a stiff breeze would blow it over.
Okay, so I'm going to take out my light crossbow, which is basically just that big gauntlet that I have, like 2 arms out of it.
Yeah.
I go ahead and point it at them, and one of my infusions is a magical crossbow.
I love it.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yes.
I believe the term for it, repeating shot.
Yes.
And so it just like creates like a little bolt, and it shoots off, and I'm going to attack twice on,
Nice.
just take 2 attacks, I guess, on the closest devil.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, first one's a 10.
Nice.
And the second one, really? A 12 on the second one.
Neither of those, unfortunately, is going to hit. The 12, the second shot, definitely grazes one of the devils, but their toughened hide causes it to just sort of skitter off.
Yeah, and as soon as they pass, they just disappear. They're not like it's a magical bolt. But then I use my bonus action, and my little turret is going to tinker closer to them and then make another attack on them.
Just sort of teeters, about to fall apart at any moment.
And that's a 12.
A 12 is also, it goes a little wide and doesn't quite land it. Ah, Imba, you're rolling like I roll when I'm a player.
I know.
Oh, wait. Yo, you have advantage if you use your inspiration if you want to.
Oh, I still have that.
Yes, and I will say I have no problem using it. So in theory, rules as written, inspiration gives you advantage, which you call before you make the roll. But I like bardic inspiration. I don't care if you use it after you've rolled your first die. It's inspiration. You did a good thing. I want to reward you, and it's fine.
Yay. So just one of the attacks, correct?
Yes. Which one? One of your crossbows or the force turret?
The turret.
Yeah.
The
Good call.
There we go. That's
all right.
A 21.
Oh, that'll do.
2d8.
All right, so the little teetering turret sort of goes up, and it totters over and looks like it's about to fall over to one side, but just as it fires its shot, it falls back onto all legs and fires directly at one of the devils,
Nice.
smashing it in the chest. I cannot imagine that you won't kill it, but what'd you roll?
For only 3 force damage.
Well, it had 2 hit points, so it's dead.
And the body gets pushed 5 feet.
So it was in fact like barely more than a stiff breeze, but it was enough, and the body just sort of flaps and flumps backwards, and 2 of the devils are down. Finally, the remaining 2 devils get a turn. So one of them is going to go for there's 3 of you over there, aren't they? Charity, Evie, and Julius.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
Yep.
Let's see. One goes to Evie and one goes to Julius.
Okie dokie.
So the one that goes over to Julius, we'll start with that one. The first thing sort of, it reaches behind its back and pulls out this enormously long bladed glaive, and stabs it in your general direction with a 17 to hit.
That will hit.
All right. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw. Nope, yes, Constitution saving throw, please.
Okie dokie.
Oh. You're going to take 13 slashing damage as it crisscrosses your chest. And what was your con save?
A 1.
Oh.
Evie can use her reaction to give you advantage on that save.
That
With a prophetic state
is true. Yes.
Okay.
So she's used her reaction this round. This round, whatever. How'd that one go? Better?
15.
That is enough. Okay, so you can feel that there is something sort of insidious about this blade, but you managed to shake off whatever poison or whatever it was that was attached to this blade. But you do still take 13 slashing damage. Unfortunately, then the creature steps closer, like closes the distance, and its beard reaches out and tries to attack you as well. But the beard is so distraught at watching 2 of its friend beards die that it gets tangled in itself and rolls a natural 1 and is unable to hit you.
It's sad because Beard Bros. The Beard Bro is gone.
The other one goes up to Evie and does the same, tries to attack with its glaive, but that is only a 15 to hit, so it misses, and then steps in to close. Its beard tries to hit. That is a 16, but with Imba's increased armor, that is not enough. Just by 1, that is not enough to pierce Evie's armor. So that is that. We are back at the top of the round with Julius. Evie is on deck.
I love our group.
I will. Well, I'm going to do my bonus action first.
Uh-huh.
And as my bonus action, I'm going to use Second Wind.
Okay.
Oh, you a fighter?
Great.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I kind of take a deep breath, and I close my eyes, and you kind of see him just like calm down and relax, and like any of those scars that were like bleeding just kind of like, quick stop bleeding, but they're there, they're still there, but they just stop, the blood flow just stops instantly. And I roll a D10 plus 4, and that is a 13. I get my hit point back.
All right. Nice.
Just completely reverse that hit.
The devil just sort of throws his arms up and he's like, look.
And then I go to retaliate that damage back at the devil. With
Do it.
Right. I see the devils going, me give up.
Yeah.
Me give up.
I'm done.
Are they one-on-one, him and the other devil at this point? Because
No, but either Evie or Charity, one of you two is near, so he can get his sneak. Yeah.
So that is a 11 on the die, plus 7, so that's 18
to hit. Yes, that'll do.
So sneak attack and a D8.
So Evie taps the devil on the shoulder, and he turns his head to look at Evie just as Julius slides his rapier in between his ribs.
18 points of piercing damage.
For 18 points of piercing. This one also now looks like a stiff breeze would blow him over.
And fancy footwork kicks in, so he kind of after he stabs in, drops down onto his back and does a somersault under the bearded devil's legs.
I love it.
And pops up behind him.
Love it. All right. Next up is Evie. I think Evie's gonna finish this one off, right?
Oh no, yeah, she that would definitely be something she'd do.
All right. Well, let's see.
Yeah.
Charity or Mike and Jeremiah have rolled for her. So Wally or Dobbs, one of you roll for the first attack for Evie.
I'll roll for the first attack.
Okay, Dobbs, you can roll for the second because she gets 2.
That was a 9 on the dice.
9. Her bonus with her greatsword is a plus 9, so that hits 2d6 plus 6 damage.
Oh my god.
6 plus 6.
Plus 9 to hit. Jesus.
That is 10 on the dice in total.
All right. So that one she just slashes through and bisects this devil, who falls to the ground in pieces. She turns around and goes for the last remaining devil. Dobbs, what'd you get?
So after her plus 9 to hit, that would be a 15.
That hits, so 2d6 plus 6 damage as she whirls around and hacks at the next devil. This devil looking peculiarly untouched, but not for long.
I keep rolling a 2 and a 1, so 3 damage.
Okay, 3 plus 6, so 9 total.
You can fix this problem.
Yes. All right.
Oh, don't you worry.
I just want to make
Here we
sure
go.
that Okay, great. Making sure she didn't have like the great weapon fighter. Nope, she's got. And okay, great. All right, so finishes one off, turns around, hacks at the other one pretty good. And next up, we have Charity. Scribbler, you are on deck.
Hello, hello. Yeah, I'm gonna take a. Can I circle behind it to try and like flank it?
Sure. I don't do
You don't do
flanking in
flanking?
5e. No, I think it's with the lack of attacks of opportunity from moving in threatened space. I think it's too easy to flank. So I don't.
Absolutely.
I don't take part in that optional rule.
Wonderful. I'm going to
Don't ask.
cut into this one then. Let's go. That's an 11 on the die plus 7 to hit. That will be an 18.
That'll do.
I am going to finish this one off furiously. I'm going to pump a Bardic Inspiration in to do Psychic Blades, and then I'm going to do
Nice.
Eldritch Smite. I'm going to spend my last pack slot and just wipe this one off the face of the earth.
I love it. My only question is, do both of those things take your bonus action?
No, the Eldritch Smite is a no action required. If I
nice.
hit, I can do it.
Great, love that.
So it's 1d8 per slot, per like spell level,
Got
and then
it.
1d8 just itself
I love
for
that.
Eldritch Smite.
Do the thing.
And then that's 2d6 for Psychic Blades and 1d8 for my actual weapon
All
die.
right, do it. I love it.
Wow, that's a lot of 8s and 7s. 8, 8, 8, 7. All right, so 15 plus 16 is 31 plus 3.
Where's my?
That's 40 points of damage.
Oh.
Woo wee, that's a spicy meatball.
And without any sort of lead up, this one just explodes between the. Wait, hold on.
Oh, let me check what type
Okay.
of damage.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, but I don't. And none of it's fire or poison, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, it's all psychic, piercing, and then on top of that, Eldritch Smite, I believe, might be necrotic, but I'm not entirely
necrotic
sure.
or radiant. Either is totally fine. Okay, so this one just
Force. It's force.
no, even better. All right, so this one just falls to the ground, burned from the inside out, and Crickendolt next to you, Scribbler. Oh, thank goodness, they were just the worst. And that's where we're going to take our mid-show break.
Nice.
We are going to be back in about 5 to 10 minutes or so. We will see you all back then. In the meantime, grab a coffee if it's morning, grab a drink if it's night, and all of you grab water. And we will see you shortly to find out what happens next. Hey, thanks for hanging out, everybody. See you soon.
See ya.
Toodles.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out during that break. Emma, you are not the only one. It took me a long time to also figure out where the poll was in the chat. I just wanted to test the functionality. Anyway, hi, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Saturday Morning D&D in Hell, Descent into Avernus. We have just taken out some bearded devils here in the spawning trees area of Avernus. We've met a bearded devil who apparently didn't like his friends. We are about to interact with some abyssal chickens. It is all thrilling and exciting. There was something else that I wanted to tell you all, and I don't remember now what it was. It's fine. Let's jump back in, shall we? You all have taken out 4 of these bearded devils. You have one of them, whose name Scribbler knows is Crickendolt, has run over, handed Scribbler the rod, said, "Oh, thank goodness, they were just the worst." And before anyone can sort of react to that, his eyes get real big, and he takes off running towards the pile of packs that you all had seen earlier. And picks up one of them, reaches inside, and pulls out one of these abyssal chickens and just holds it close and sort of strokes it and mutters to it softly.
So,
your faces are all amazing.
I will very gingerly walk over to Scribbler because we're having the same face in the same moment, and I'll just be like, huh, and then I'll put my hand out for the and just be like, that's so weird.
It is.
Huh.
Yeah. I walk over with the rod.
Yes. Oh, I forgot I had a picture of the spawning trees. I should put that up. Well, I have a part. Oh, no, I don't. Never mind. That's a picture of another location later, but nothing. Bye. We'll put Zariel back up. Yeah, so you walk over and you can, you do speak Infernal, right, Scribbler?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, among many other things. So you just hear this thing like muttering, like soft, placating things to this abyssal chicken. The one thing that you for sure hear over and over is that Crickendolt seems to be calling this thing by a name, and this chicken's name is apparently Earwax.
Okay.
What's your name? What's his name? Scribner?
How would you like to be called?
He sort of looks up and looks around, and he says, sorry, Cricky is good.
Cricky. Okay. Cricky, hi, I'm Captain Julius. This is my crew. There's over there is Ivna, there's Scribner, there's Charity, there's Evie over there. So first of all, question, how'd you get that rod, if you don't mind me asking?
He sort of looks over to the rod that Scribbler's holding, and he goes, that?
Yes.
We got it from a big tower. Some crazy human lives there and had several of them.
Several? Oh, well, I look over at Charlie. Well, there you go.
Where was this? The tower?
Yeah, it was. He sort of points in a direction, says, "That way a ways."
I break out the map.
He sees the map and he looks at it. Cricky sort of looks at it for a moment and points to a location that is labeled as the Tower of Erm.
Okie doke.
Alrighty. Well,
okay.
I do not have labels on mine.
Is that E?
Oh, right. I forgot that you have the other one. I will figure out where that is and tell you momentarily.
Okay.
It's URM.
URM? Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
M, not N, like earn, like Irma.
Yes,
okay.
Correct.
Cool. Just double checking for the brain.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
yeah, so he says that's where he where he got it. He thinks.
Okay.
And
I'll just like walk over. And where did you get that?
He sort of holds the chicken closer and says, "Oh, earwax? Well, they and he points to like the remains of his companions and says, they wanted me to kill earwax, but I couldn't do that."
Very well. Why is that?
Oh, because earwax hadn't done anything wrong. Why would I want to harm this creature? She's really very sweet. And he sort of strokes her.
I'm gonna look over to the rest of the group and be like,
This flies in the face of everything I understand about the nature of devils.
He sort of nods and sighs and says, "Yeah, well, I'm not your average devil."
and I'll just like look over at Scribbler and just put a hand to my face and just be like,
Cricky sort of turns around, and you can see on the back of his head just this awful looking set of what look like maybe claw mark scars. I mean, the back of his head has just been savaged. And he says, "Demon fight really got me good. And ever since I've realized that you know, the way that things are done here probably isn't really the way things should be. You know, we should care about our fellow creatures and try and do good in the world. And
So I'm gonna do I guess an Arcana check.
I actually would like you. I'll let it be intelligence based, but I would actually like a medicine check.
Medicine. Okay, I can do medicine.
All right.
Not sure. Let me look at my trained skills. Medicine. So I got a total of 16.
It looks 16 is not bad. Some sort of like I don't know, brain injury or he got knocked into goodness or something about this injury seems to have changed him. And you get the feeling that like some serious healing might be able to like not that you would want to, but might be able to set him back to his normal state, but it would have to be some hefty healing to like fix whatever internally happened to this creature's brain. It's definitely not magical though. Definitely is just the result of that wound, that injury that he has.
I see.
How many other chickens are left around the area? I know he's holding earwax.
He's holding earwax. Yeah, there's like, I don't know, 5 or 6 others sort of scattered around the area that you can see. None of them are particularly close by. There was a lot of noise and fighting just now, so they sort of have taken off to parts farther away.
So,
I'll lean over to Captain Julius and I'll just be like, I'll grab a couple of them for the road. Don't worry about it. We got it.
I nod Charity. All right. So I'm glad that we were able to help you out, and thank you for giving us this rod. And we are glad we're able to protect you and your precious little ball of earwax.
Hold sort of strokes her and smiles a little.
Yeah. And so, if you don't mind, we will be taking. Do you need any other assistance, though? Are you fine us leaving you?
He says, "Oh, I mean, I'll be okay. Earwax and I can manage. We're okay." Scribbler, the place that he pointed to on the map is sort of right in the center. There's that central sort of lake of red, and you can see sort of there's like a little, like vase-shaped thing on an island in the center of that lake of red. That's the tower.
Okay.
And before we go, do you think you can tell us anything else you know about this tower? Was fortified besides the crazy human that lives there?
I didn't go with them. I stayed sort of far away, and they came back. I don't even really know why they were going there to see him, but they came back with one of the rods and said he had lots of them.
Interesting. Scribbler, I need to do something very quickly. I just need to check validity of this, if this is in fact what we are actually looking for. And I think that you would know that I know best about these things.
Are you asking me to give you the rod?
And here, you said that you're not funny. Yes. Did I put up my hand?
I just.
I let that moment hold for just a moment longer, just long enough to be uncomfortable.
Yep, for
and
sure.
And then I handed him.
Oh man.
I will cast Identify as not as a ritual. I will just take the 1 minute and cast it using a spell slot.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So just looking at it as you're casting the spell, you see that this one also has those same words written on it that your original piece. You got another piece?
I have a Rod of the Pact Keeper. I don't have one of these
right.
adamantium rods.
That's right. This is the first time you're seeing this one.
This is a little different.
Right. Okay. So the first thing that you notice is that written across this this rod are some runes in Infernal, which of course you can read without any problem, that says Solar Insidiator Lock.
Solar Insidiator Lock.
Uh-huh. And the one that you have has, after that, the number 4.
The Pact Keeper rod that I have?
No. The adamantine rod that you just got. Yes. This is the rod that you just got, and it says Solar Insidiator Lock, and then the number 4.
So, what language is Solar and Insidiator from?
What do you mean?
Well, they're not standard words.
Sure. So solar is definitely a celestial word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing I know solar is a type of celestial, like a really powerful type of celestial.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Insidiator.
Insidiator you had to sort of like sound out, as it is not a word, but it seems to be, a creative adjustment of like the base word insidious, right?
Okay.
I do love language.
And the lock part though, is it like lock like LOCH or lock?
No,
like...
you goon! It's LOCK.
Oh, I don't know. Because you never know. It could be talking about evil celestial river.
Right. You're correct. That is fair enough.
It's clearly for plumbing the depths of a celestial evil lake.
It's
really.
where you dunk celestials
so
like donuts and they become bad.
I'm so mad at you.
It's the river of dunking.
We now know what Nessie is.
After the minute is done, Charity, and you're done casting Identify. The rods actually are only very slightly magical. They've got some abjuration. I think it's abjuration. Hold please. Nope, some transmutation magic on them. That seems to be sort of the equivalent of a very weak or part of a very weak knock spell. So this sounds like it is some sort of a key or a part of a key. But other than that, they're not super powerful. Like this rod is by itself not super powerful.
Alone.
Well, you have to find 9 of them, so.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot. Okay.
So what did you gain it from them? Or?
It's
not what you expected.
Well, I expected that.
Not entirely so. Not entirely so.
So the rod was dissatisfying.
Yes, quite.
Do you think that
it's a lot?
Maybe if you take more rods, you'd be happier.
Yeah, probably. But I'm gonna need to keep a hold on all of them.
And you need at least a hard grip on these rods at all time.
I will need to firmly grasp them.
I
within my
regret
hand.
everything.
Oh,
You have
reminds
your-
me of tinkering school.
And there it is. There's the button. We've hit it.
Yeah, I now have a new favorite game. Watch Eugenio go mad.
I regret everything.
Gosh.
All right.
I'm just going to like take a moment. I don't have a way for us to get back there unless we take like about an hour to chill for a bit.
And with us taking a brief rest, I also
Short
would like
rest,
to
yeah.
refresh my magical skills. Save us getting
Oh
into
wait,
the fight.
I actually can get us all back, and then we can rest with the vehicle as to not have it sitting over there like a lump on a dead log.
Up to you all.
Yes?
I real quickly though we
Yeah.
will survey the area just to make sure that we're not leaving anything behind that we need to
Yeah.
acquire.
Don't seem to be
I'll
any
put the rod
other.
away.
Yeah, don't seem to be any other of those rods here. The only other thing that's sort of around a few chickens and the rest of the bearded devil's packs.
I want to check the packs myself.
Yeah.
Sure. Let's see what's in the packs.
Captain, I'll leave it to you to loot and plunder.
Yes.
You know?
Each
riches.
of the packs. Wait, is this the right? Yes. Each of the packs has a soul coin in it, so there are 4 soul coins altogether in the remaining 4 packs. Creaky has his own pack, so I'm assuming you're not going through that one, but maybe that's a poor assumption.
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay. So Creaky has his own pack, but in the other 4, you find a total of 4 soul coins and 2 vials of that demon ichor that's on the ground.
What I do is, I one by one, I take the soul coin and put it in a pack, and I point the pack towards Charity because I just can't hold that many soul coins at once. I say, over here are 4 soul coins. If you don't mind, can you please deal with them?
Sure thing. I'll just like put them all in my pouch.
And then I take the bottles of ichor and I give them to Imba.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, honey.
Just-
This will juice up my ride real good.
Just a reminder on this: carrying more than 1 soul coin gives you disadvantage on pretty much everything. Is that right?
Carrying, I think it's more than your Constitution modifier.
If you are not
If you're
evil.
not correct, if you're not evil.
Okay.
Yeah. While Julius is doing this with Charity and Imba, Lulu, who sort of had been hanging back through the whole battle and just sort of like looking away, not wanting to sort of see what was happening, she comes flying over to you, Scribbler, and she says, hey, Scribbler, so I kind of remembered something else, I think.
Oh, what would that be?
Well, that rod, I've seen something like it before.
I have a suspicion as to its nature. I don't imagine that a Archduke of Hell would send us around summoning up raw materials for no reason. I suspect that they are tied to some sort of enchantment, and the words on it suggest that the enchantment is somehow tied to a celestial.
That makes actually even more sense. I can kind of remember seeing 2 of those things. One of them, I think, might be in the same place as the sword, but I still can't remember where that is. But there's another one that I think I remember. It was in this place where there were trees, but they looked like they were made of bones, and there was this crazy lady there who had it, and she kept it, and I don't remember why I know this. I don't even know if the thing is still there, but I thought you should know.
Thank you. And if there's anything I can do to help you remember things or just make you feel more comfortable, let me know.
Well, thanks. I don't know how to get the memories back. Although that one memory came back earlier, so maybe some of it'll come back with time. But
I have noticed that you have an innate ability to sense the goodness or evil in people.
I think I used to be better at it, but yeah, kind of. Charity makes me nervous. They're not a bad sort, but they make me kind of nervous. But you don't, and Evie doesn't.
I have a question. Crickendalt here.
I'm so confused because he seems like a really good guy. I'm not gonna lie. I think I kind of like him a lot.
Okay. Well, do you want to keep him with us?
Oh, well, if he needs help or if he wants to come with us, sure. I don't see why not.
I turned to Cricket and was like, would you like to accompany us? You may find that we are of more aligned with your current morality than some of your brethren.
He sort of thinks about it for a minute and he says, well, I don't see why not. I mean, I was just going to sort of wander the wasteland until I, found something fun or died. So this sounds better than that. Can Earwax come too?
I do not see why not.
Can
Captain?
Earwax come too and not be dinner?
We might have dinner, but we'll make it so that Earwax isn't.
In fact, though, let's put a little differentiating thing, and I take out just a piece of cloth, and we'll just tie a little bow, around some part of Earwax, to differentiate Earwax from any other abyssal chicken.
Cricky just loves this.
I like
How
the
is
idea of him
Earwax
sticking around.
liking it?
Earwax seems to object somewhat, but what are you gonna do?
Don't worry, Quickie. We will make sure Earwax is treated with the utmost respect of every single member of this group.
Even Charity.
Excuse me?
Good, very good.
I am
very nice.
nothing but charitable. I offered them help. I took away something that they were using to bludgeon his friend here to death. Rude.
If you ask me, I like the idea of him being around. He's kind of
I do
handsome.
too.
Well,
I'm like,
Cut to Earwax, who is struggling and trying to gnaw off and just making these horrible snarling sounds. Yeah, exactly. Just going at it.
I've seen cats do that.
Yeah.
The worst part is they only have those two legs to stand on,
Uh-huh.
so you can't even scratch it off.
And you've
It's
seen
just
you've seen some of them fly, but not well. They sort of they can maybe go a little distance and then they just sort of plummet after I don't know, maybe 6 seconds or so of flight.
I love them. I need to go and catch some of the other ones because we need to eat.
no,
But
we
actually,
if we have the opportunity.
Give me a moment, and you see I pull out the rod of the Pact Keeper,
Mhm.
and I hold it in my hands,
Uh-huh.
and it starts to glow, and you see this red swirling energy just kind of seep into my arm, and then shoom. All right, so I have about one more of those fly spells in me that if you guys want, we can go and take a mosey on down to our vehicle and then rest there. If you guys want that. If not, I'm sure that I can putz around here and get us some dinner. Yes?
Well, I think let's get some dinner here first before we head back.
Wonderful. Captain,
Yes.
stock?
Oh, yes.
And so, I just put an arm out up on his shoulder and just
I lean down a bit so they can put their arm on my shoulder.
And I just like aim and I fire off Eldritch blasts stocked up off of his shoulder.
And I have this look at my face like I am 100% used to, like, we've done this before many of times.
I love it.
Oh boy.
And I'll fire off an Eldritch blast.
I
over
mean,
at the,
yeah, I'm not gonna make you roll because like you can do this for long enough that you can collect some chickens. It's fine.
Wonderful. Just skeet shooting chickens in the middle of the waste.
I just simply
I
cannot.
love it. I love it.
Yeah, so you get a few chickens for dinners if you so desire.
How are we going to cook that? I mean, I can hit them once and do some good firing damage, but that'll be about it. I just kind of.
What was the second word on the rod?
Insidiator.
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 Yes, I'll put it.
Insidiator.
I am making notes.
Solar Insidiator lock.
And how many soul coins did we procure from that
4.
venture? 4?
Yes.
Yes.
I can
Wow.
check them out before we go too far. That way there will be no question later.
Well, we can, while we're here resting.
We can do that when we're resting. Yes, of course. We don't have to do that at the moment. That's fine.
All right, so no problem. You all can fly across, get back to your machine, which seems to have not been bothered, and take short
I'm just
rest.
carrying a bunch of the chickens by the legs upside down. So that they're not-
Perfect.
Yeah.
And you all can have a short rest. And are we checking out some of these soul coins during this rest?
Oh,
Yes.
yes. Give me a moment, then I will have cast fly just so that I keep track of this.
But you get them all back on a short rest anyway, right?
Yes, I would have cast fly, and then I get everything back in a short. Well, all of my warlock stuff back in a short rest.
Right.
And I get back,
4 levels worth.
yeah, I get 4 levels worth. So yeah.
Perfect. And then you are querying each of the coins about their soul, the soul contained therein.
So
Yes.
you would have had to have gotten them from charity, to which that conversation would have been like, do we really have to? It spends so much time, and it's a charge, which we need that fuel.
The charge does not affect the fuel as long as I don't expend the last of it. And
It lowers the amount that we are going to be able to use out of the soul coin. Using a charge takes some fuel out of each one of them.
no, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
We actually established it doesn't.
Imba.
While they're doing this, Julius takes his coat off, wraps it around his waist, and starts to prepare these chickens for cooking.
Great. I think Cricky's gonna help you once you're like far enough in that they don't really look like earwax anymore. He's a little upset about the first part, but
Charity, this is a thing that is not negotiable for me. We need to find out if any of these souls are good. Most of them probably will not be. But if they are, they need to be freed. I'm not saying we have to destroy all of them. But this is not negotiable for me.
Fine. If this is non-negotiable for you, then I'm sure we can work something out, can't we?
wait.
Perhaps the term
okay.
negotiations
Oh no,
familiar to you.
Well, here's the thing. You are not in possession of any of them, are you? You will need someone to carry them, as I'm sure the weight of all of them would be too much for you. Or really, most of this group. Now, here's the thing. A little give goes a long way. So yes, I will concede to you. We can absolutely check each and every one of these soul coins. But in exchange, I will need something from you.
What would that be?
Well, I let you check each of the soul coins. I let you free any of these souls that could be used for our transit here and our means of survival in this place. So long as you take from this, then I will ask that you simply just allow me to do the work that I need to do down here. Which means if we find something, I will need the rods. I will need perhaps to see that sword if we get our hands on it.
I cannot make the call on the sword, obviously. That should be up to the group. And as far as
Right.
the rods,
Fine.
I
It will
have
be up to the
handed
group.
over.
Yes.
I have handed over the rod to you.
Yes, and I just ask that that be continued in kind. But now, yes, I say that we do put it up to a group vote. You're right. But in exchange for this, I ask that your vote be yes when push comes to shove.
When push comes to shove, I will choose the good action, no matter what.
You know, bad tension between people make a bad flavor for chicken, and these crispy roasted chickens are not going to taste very well at all if you two are keeping such an argument with each other.
From the distance, holding up an abyssal chicken leg.
Yeah.
And I just turn back and I'm like, oh, there's no argument here. This is pure, simple dealings and negotiation and talk. Like,
Good.
we're fine.
Oh, good.
And I'll turn back to Scribbler and I'm like, are we not fine?
I am treating you as a fellow companion in my battles here. You're a traveler with me. I will look out for your interests. Do I trust you? Have you given me a reason?
Have I given you any reason not to trust me?
I've seen you tell lies.
To devils.
And you are also evil. Which means that your rules may be variable.
But I am not without a code of ethics that I adhere to very strongly.
I'm not saying that I will act against you, or that I will harm you, or even allow harm to come to you, so long as you do no evil in my presence.
If you set out those guidelines for me, I will do my best if we write up this contract. Absolutely. We get this in writing. I do no evil in your presence. You get each of the soul coins. I get the vote yes from you.
You only get the vote yes if it is the good action. Period. That is not going to change.
Well, now
I will not be forced, tricked, cajoled, or otherwise influenced into taking an evil action. You need to accept that.
well, if I am to do no evil in your presence, then me having the sword on a yes will have to come about in a non-evil way, shouldn't it? It would be in the good interest of the group.
If it is the good action, I will say yes. If it is not, I will not.
So, I will take out some parchment, and I will take out some. I don't know that I have a calligrapher set on me.
I
But-
do.
I was gonna say Scribbler absolutely does.
May we get this down in writing then? 2 copies,
Of
one
course.
for each of us.
And I certainly put into writing exactly.
Exactly.
Given that I'm the one that
as they are.
actually writes it, I actually word it in such a way that there are no loopholes in which I can be forced into absolutely giving him anything if I think it's an evil, will be used for evil purposes or anything along those lines. But I will agree to aid him in his search for the rods and hand them over up and until the moment it becomes clear that evil is being done.
All right.
Are we agreed?
Signed and sealed, it sounds like.
I will.
I will need your name.
I will sign off on this. This is something that I have to debate as to how. This is tasty. Can we get back to
I was
this?
just gonna say, so Charity with the calligrapher's pen hovering above the contract as we go over to Imba and Julius and Cricky. Imba, I always have a bit of trepidation before I ask this, but what are you up to?
Oh, I'm definitely trying to help prepare this chicken because it's been a while since I've had some good eating.
And what form does that help take?
My little gauntlet, might make a burst of fire. Might be
Great, get a little char, a little sear on the outside.
little
Love that.
on the outside.
I love that. I love that.
No one should be on the opposite side of the table.
Right. Every now and again, Cricky runs off to go pet Earwax, who he's sort of tied to the infernal war machine. Of course, every time Earwax sort of snarls and tries to bite him, and then he'll run back and look like he feels better about cooking these other chickens. Julius, how about you?
I'm pretty much showing off my cooking skills here,
okay.
with what little we have with us. I'm kind of upset that we don't really have much spices, so that we're gonna have some flavorless chicken here. Yeah, what you gonna do?
I mean, everything you've had in Avernus has been fairly flavorless, so
yeah, but I'm pretty much doing my best to kind of recreate a chicken recipe that I've had in the past. A nice crispy skinned chicken dish, nice juicy on the inside, meat falling right off the bone. And I'm kind of relying on Cricky here to be kind of like my sous chef. And whenever Cricky doesn't meet up to my standards, I kind of do a little bit of a Gordon Ramsay on him. And I Cricky, let me ask you something. How long did you put this chicken over the fire?
Well, let me ask you something. How long did you tell me to put it over the fire?
It doesn't matter. When you put chicken over the fire, it's supposed to be cooked in the middle of it. And I cut open the chicken. What is this? What is this?
Well, it was gonna. I didn't want to.
It's raw, Cricky.
Yeah.
It's raw.
I think I can still hear it clucking.
That was the problem.
It doesn't. I understand these chickens. They're cute. Wonderful little creatures.
To be clear, every now and again, one of the carcasses will let out some sort of sound.
These are cute little creatures. I understand it. You have to get over your attachment to them. We're not. Look, earwax. Earwax is fine. These are the nameless creatures that are for our sustenance and survival. So you need Imba, stop poking the chicken with the fork.
Listen, I just wanted to take a better look at it. Give me a second.
Perfection. Cricky finally, eventually, agrees to sort of cook the chickens and becomes an actually fairly competent sous chef. And the strange thing that the three of you that are sort of nearest to the fire notice once Cricky sort of stops like holding them in the fire for about 3.5 seconds and then pulling them out, once they actually start to cook, for the first time since you all arrived in Avernus, you don't know how it's going to taste, but this food smells amazing.
Finally, a decent meal. I take a bit of a. This is
it. Oh, do you take a bite?
I take a bite. Yeah.
You have not. First of all, you haven't tasted much of anything because everything sort of tastes like ash and rot when you eat it. This is the most delicious thing you've ever put in your mouth.
I break down sobbing.
Absolutely, it's like slightly fattier chicken, but it's just like rich and flavorful. You didn't even do anything to the damn thing. You stuck it in the fire for a while, but like even so, it actually has flavor, and that is the greatest gift.
This makes no sense right here. But, excuse me. This makes no sense. This is the most delicious thing I've eaten the past couple of months since I've got here. Oh my gosh. Imba, take a bite. Take a bite of this.
And she just kind of like pauses.
The
you know how
stillest
like
you have ever seen her.
And her like pupils get huge.
Yes.
Dinner plate.
I love it.
Great, you've discovered MSG.
Yeah. I love
Charities. Scribner, are you done with the whatever you're over there? Because we're about to eat all this chicken if you don't come over here.
All right, so we head back over to those two. So Charity, what have you decided?
Out of game. This brings up a very turbulent point of true names for me. Because Charity has a dead name that they have not used.
Sure.
In a very long time.
Sure.
They have taken the name Charity to just be their name.
Right. So two things I'll say.
Yeah.
Two things I'll say about the way that true names work for onomancy. One is that we all sort of have a lot of preconceived notions about what power true names have and bestow upon someone who has them. And to be super clear, like, unlike in some, fantasy series or whatever, having one's true name does not, like, allow you to control them completely, this and this and that, right? It allows Scribbler to, like, cast some spells without spell slots, makes it, it does a couple of other, like, very specific things, right? But the first thing I should say is, like, let's not conflate the power of true names in this setting as in some others. The other thing I would say is that one's birth name is most certainly not necessarily their true name. True names can change over time. True names are as much chosen as they are innate. And so I don't see any reason whatsoever that Charity's dead name would have anything to do with their true name.
Yeah, I think it's would be safe to say that Scribbler would probably be able to tell that it's your true name. But other than that, whatever you think it should be, like when Charity thinks of who they are in their own head, what is the name?
Yeah, exactly.
Charity.
Exactly.
That's what it should be. It's like, to draw a comics analogy, it's like Batman. Right. Inside his own head, he's not Bruce Wayne, he's Batman.
Right.
Charity takes a bit of a poke into their thumb, takes the and lifts and writes out Charity in blood on the paper.
I am less dramatic. I
Take some damn ink.
yeah, I just use ink.
Use a pen, sideshow Bob.
And
love
sign Delphinius Foil.
Ooh, I love that. All right.
He
And
puts
with
the
that-
treatment to make it, not run or anything.
Right.
Rolls it up. His copy puts in his document sleeve. He hands you a document sleeve with a copy for you.
I love it. And at about this time, you hear Julius calling that the chicken is ready, and they're about to devour it all if you don't hurry up.
I put a hand up, shake.
Certainly.
Wonderful. Food time? Food time.
All right. The meal is delicious. It is just the best meal that any of you have had since arriving in Avernus. Lulu and Cricky partake as well, and there's enough to go around, and it's tasty and it's filling, and you all have a successful and enjoyable, maybe is a bit much, but not terrible short rest at your war machine with this chicken lunch.
And Scribbler's response to the meal is, well, this repast was adequately prepared and is quite salutary to my senses.
There it is.
I kind of give the most dirty looks at him. Adequate?
He loves it. Don't worry.
There it is.
Adequate.
All right.
Now-
So after the short rest, what is the plan? Seems you have
One moment, please.
Oh yeah.
What was your last name? What
Foil.
was the last name?
Foil. Mm-hmm. I love it.
Phineas Foil. That is a good name for me to have on hand. All right.
So you have sort of two possible leads anyway, on where there might be some additional rods. Lulu told Scribbler about possibly knowing where one might be, and Cricky says that at some point in time there were others in this tower, he thinks.
Wonderful.
So, looking at the map, which location does look like is closer? The tower.
Well, it's hard to really truly tell based on the map since things are so weird.
I
But
think that we're closer to the town than we are to the tower, yeah?
what town?
The town that is being dragged, the city, rather, that is being dragged into the...
Oh, yes, that is true. That is true. And
Do we know if there are any rods in the town?
I don't think that there are, but it would behoove us to check the town, as there could be good, innocent people there that could be harmed by coming into contact with this place, as I'm sure you're all well aware of, yes? And
Yes.
then shall we be off to go and see what good we might do over in that town, city, place? What is that place? It's been scratching at the back of my mind forever. I know I've been around, I just can't.
We should probably get closer, and we'll certainly figure it out once we're nearer to the town.
Sounds like a good idea. Let's head that way.
Right.
Plan to me.
And actually, one of the locations is on the way somewhat to the town, I think.
it is,
Oh.
and Lulu sort of looks at the map and can sort of point you in the general direction of the bone trees as well, or at least as best she remembers. They are near, so on the bottom left corner of the map, I really got to remember to put up an image of the map on here. On the bottom left corner of the map, there's that angel sort of in the border, right
Sure.
above the corner of her wing on our right as we're looking at it is like that little red area.
Looks like a fort.
Oh. Wait, I should look at your version so I see what. Oh, south from that. Yes, I see what you're looking at.
Yeah.
South from that. Just literally like right above where the corner of her wing is.
Okay.
That's where she thinks she remembers the bone trees being.
Okay.
And the city's on the way down to that. Yes.
Yeah, the city's
It's
the city's
near-ish.
definitely closer to you than either of those two locations. At least looking at the map, it seems to be that way.
Well, if the majority of these rods, as it were being kept over in that tower, then perhaps they're not going anywhere soon. So
Yes, let's go check
I'm sure
out
a
the
few
city.
detours won't hurt this.
Nope, it shouldn't seem like it'll hurt us too much. Just remember, we have to keep track of our fuel. I hope that also isn't a problem between you two.
Is
Yes, and I hand over one of the soul coins to go and check.
And I use it to ask it a question. Trying to figure out a good way to ask this. I ask it if it what it wanted in life.
Ooh.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so first things first. There were 4. No, how many did we get? We got 4, right?
4,
We
yes.
got 4. I had 3.
Okay.
I don't think that we asked any of the 3.
Data received.
Let's.
Analyzing.
Sorry, that's my phone.
I'm obsessed.
Oh, it's one of my
It was
little
just
things here.
perfect timing. Will each of you do me a favor and roll d6s, because I want to see how many charges remain in each of these coins, and there are 4 of them and 4 of you.
I got it too.
Okay, 2,
I got a 4.
a 4,
What are we rolling again?
just a d6,
D6.
and then we'll cut your number in half for the number because it's up 1 to 3 charges.
1.
Okay, so 3 of them have only 1 charge, and Imba, 1 of them has 2 charges.
So the ones with 1 charge, do we know by
Oh,
virtue
I have a
of
question.
the coin itself?
I gotta think about that, Charity. I think so, but I'm not sure. What's your question, Scribbler?
Would I'm going to cast Identify on it. See if I can
Oh, sure.
determine anything using Identify.
Yeah, with Identify, absolutely. So Identify will very easily tell you how many charges are left in it, tell you all the different things you can do with it. And I think, let's see. Why don't you make me Intelligence Arcana checks for each of the coins that you cast Identify on?
Sure.
I mean, it's a magical item that doesn't require attunement. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, no,
this
you
is to just sort of see if Scribbler is also able to get a read on the soul
So-
inside, which is not really part of, right?
28.
28. Yeah, you can absolutely tell that this soul is very, very evil.
Okay. I hand this one back. This one is evil.
2 of them had 1 charge, yes, and then
Yes. Oh, this one was. That's a good question to see which one this one was. 3 of them had 1 charge, and 1 of them had 2. This was one of the
3 of
single.
them.
This was one of the single charge ones.
Let's just mark that one
Okay.
down then.
and then 1 of them had 2 charges left.
Let's do this. So you have at least 1 coin that and 1 charge that we know is evil that Scribbler's not gonna object to using. Let's check if we want to check out the rest of the coins. Let's do it off air right as soon as we're
Absolutely.
done today,
Sure.
so that we can move forward with whatever y'all's plan is next. Because I am very curious what you all are gonna do next. Now that you have
Well,
these 3 possible paths open to you.
Charity would offer that we go to the city first, and
Okay.
then make our way down south to the Bone Tree, so that Lulu might perhaps regain some memories from being there, if that is something that could happen.
I
Okay.
agree.
I think we should head towards the city also. I feel like there may be some things there that I can steal, and we can also help along the way get Lulu back her memory.
Okay. Any objection, Imba?
The bone trees are they're towards the town, correct?
Yeah, the town is definitely the closest thing, and you're gonna have to sort of go that direction to get to either of the other 2 locations anyway. So it's not much of a
I'm
detour.
perfectly fine stopping by town. I do want to
Okay.
help the cute little darling over here.
Which little darling are you talking about? Cricky or Earwax or Lulu?
Yes.
Tiny little darlings.
Yes, got it. I love it. All right. So, and well, I guess we'll figure out how you get up there when you arrive. So you sort of head off in your war machine again, and just sort of like follow the river, because if you recall, the town is hovering above the river and being very slowly pulled down towards the river Styx. And eventually you sort of get to it, and you, even from 500 feet up, you can hear that there is a lot of activity happening up there, on that city. First of all, that big dark orb floating above the city is still occasionally lancing lightning down onto the city. Sounds like there's maybe sounds of a few battles going on up on the city. And just every now and again, like, the city seems to have sort of been split down the middle, or the ground that the city is on is sort of split down the middle. I'll throw that picture back up. And every now and again, like, a little piece of forgot to take the chicken down.
A little chunk of town keeps coming down.
A little chunk of town sort of breaks free and falls and splashes into the river, spraying river water some distance out from the banks. And then again, there are all of these chains that are connected and leading up. Each of the chain links is absolutely enormous, probably 30 feet long, 20 feet wide, and covered. Each of the chains is covered, now that you're a little closer, you can see, in these 1 foot long barbs, which, look like you don't want to fall onto one, but also make convenient handholds if you wanted to climb, I guess.
Great.
Interesting. No thanks. I'm not climbing 500 feet up on spikes. Y'all got me messed up. Instead, I'm going to take about, 6 times 5, 30 seconds to go and shoot my way skyward. I'll take 30 seconds with a fly spell, as opposed to
I see,
a long trek upwards, steeply getting stabbed the whole way up. That don't sound like fun.
Okay, so you're casting fly on yourself and flying up?
I will get the consensus of the group first.
Okay.
Yeah. I already agreed that you should fly up and see what the town looks like long beforehand.
Your best wild self. That's what I always say.
And I can always count on you.
By all means, if you can provide further insight, by all means.
Well, time to spread my wings. I just... Whew.
All right. Up you fly very quickly, and as you get sort of a safe distance from the city and above it, you can see that this city is, first of all, very obviously from the material plane, the prime material plane, and you realize this because you can see that the whole city has been just completely overrun with various, mostly devils, it looks like, and every now and again you get a glimpse of people, of non-fiendish humanoid individuals, sort of running, hiding, being attacked by these fiends. It just looks like the whole city is sort of in terrible disarray at this point.
It's not the way we go about these things. All right. Well, have any of the devils taken notice to me?
That's a good question.
Because I will use disguise self, and because I can just do that at will.
Yeah.
I will make myself look like winged devil, like
right.
a Cambion almost.
Sure. Then in that case, even if they have, they haven't given you a second thought.
Yeah. Just carrying like this big wicked blade, just
Sure.
like.
Sure.
I'm just scouring the area.
Yeah. Is there anything in particular that you're looking for? I mean, the whole city's sort of in disarray at this
Things
point.
that are familiar to me, because I remember that this city, like, there was something familiar about it when I rolled my perception check.
Oh, sure. Why don't you, now that you're sort of seeing the city, the actual city, from above a little closer up, why don't you make me a new intelligence history check?
Okay, I mean, that's not great. Intelligence. Oof. History. Yike. Okay. This 12.
12.
I mean, definitely from Faerun, from where you're from, but beyond that, can't place what city it is.
All right. Yeah. That's I'll like go down and try and see if I can glean anything off of the devils that are down there attacking. See what they're up to.
Okay, so you see Charity sort of approach the city and land on top of the city.
You see Charity start to fly up, and then Charity's not Charity.
Right. But you've all seen this happen. All right, and that, as Charity lands on this fallen city, is where we are going to end for this week. We will find out what Charity finds in this city next week. Hey, thanks for hanging out, everybody. Once again, what a great way to start our weekends and our Saturday mornings. Thanks so much for watching. Let's go around and let everybody know who you are, who you played, where we can find you on the interwebs, and one of your favorite moments from today's stream. We'll go in reverse order, so we will start with Jeremiah.
Well, my name is Jeremiah McCoy. You can find me online at Tech Noir and on Twitter. I'm actually Basics of the Game on Twitch. So if you see me commenting in there, that's me. And I have a website, and I do lots of writing about games and stuff. And my, I guess my favorite bit today was actually the sort of disagreement over the cooking. I thought that was great.
Oh yes, I did. I did enjoy that.
Yeah,
I love it. All right, next up, I think we are on Dobbs.
All right, so I'm Dobbs. You can find me just about anywhere by searching Dobbsmosis. And my favorite moment, Scribbler nitpicking that contract. Scribbler has his code, and he's gonna make sure he takes that extra step.
Mm-hmm.
He knows, and I like that he was not gonna be pigeonholed into doing something he might regret later, but still technically signing the contract. But like, I'm sorry, inter-party conflict handled in that way, phenomenal. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
It was pretty great. All right, and next up we have Mike.
Hi guys, I'm Mike. I use he/him pronouns. You can find me on Twitter at EnzoMichael or on Instagram as Mike What the Hell. And my favorite moment, oh dear lordy, I have to roll a d6 because I have numbered each of them.
Too many.
Yeah, no, for real. All right, number one, the the Werther's candy moment.
Yeah,
just
Yes.
procures a strawberry wrapper. There were so many, but that one's the one I rolled for.
I love it. Last but not least, we have Wally.
Hi, my name is Wally. You can find me on Twitter at Wally132. You also find me on the Decode podcast every Thursday on Twitch. I think definitely my favorite moment had to have been just that whole signing of the contract scene, because you finally, it's like Scribbler, yeah, we know his alignment. We know that he's a good person, but we've never seen what his code of honor is, what his code of ethics is, like what are the rules that he lives by, and yeah, we saw that Charity is an evil person, but they still have their own code, so you got to finally see what makes them
Totally.
in their alignment, and I really loved it.
Totally. I love it. All right. And of course, our missing player today, we are sending her healing vibes. Alex Catu, who normally plays Evie. You can find her on the Twitters at @Alex_Catu. I'm not going to
Many
say what
healing
her favorite
words.
was. We have a poll going in the chat about who we're going to raid when we're done, just so you all know. But now I will do my outro introduction. My name's Eugenio, also sometimes known as your friendly neighborhood dungeon master DM Jazzy Hands. I use he, him pronouns. You can find me on the Twitters at @DM Jazzy Hands. You can find my podcast on the Twitters at @DND Last Refuge. And yeah. Gosh, this was such a fun one, but I think my favorite moment was all of your faces when Cricky came over and told you how crappy his friends were and how relieved he was to be free of them. Just the confusion and sort of head tilts from all of you were beautiful and beauteous.
It was our faces this time.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Housekeeping things. I think most of you have already done this if you're watching, but if you haven't, hit the little heart button at the top of the screen to follow the channel so you get alerts whenever we go live. We are 53 followers away from 1,000, and I would love to get there by the end of the year. So spread the word, help us out. This tiny little channel has really grown into something super special since I joined the fold just over a year ago when we did our 4-team mega stream of Waterdeep Dragon Heist, and it's been amazing to watch. Speaking of the growth of the channel, you can also follow us on Twitter. That's super helpful at Variant Roles on Twitter. Retweeting us, coming to watch, hanging out in the chat, or not being in the chat. Your support, your presence, that is what makes this channel what it is. We appreciate all of you. If you are able and willing and want to do a little bit more to support the channel, we do have a Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/variantroles and become a patron of the channel. Or, of course, subscriptions here on Twitch are also super helpful to us. We appreciate all of that support if you are willing and able to give it. What else? I think tomorrow evening is our next show, and we've got Urban Shadows, if I'm not mistaken. I should probably look at the calendar, but that's my guess. But hey, if you're following, you'll get a notification anyway. We will be back, same time, same place, next Saturday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern for Session 4, as we find out what Charity finds on this city. I have to be really careful to not say, I mean, I know you all probably know the name of the city, but I am trying to avoid saying it on air. What else do I need to tell you? Thank you all so much. Let's see. What are the results of the poll? Looks like we have a 50-50 tie between Sir Lucian and Off the Table RPG for who we're going to raid. So I'm going to see who has fewer viewers right now, and that's where we're going to go. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. We are going to head over to Sir Lucian today. So thanks for hanging out. We appreciate it. We hope to see you around the channel during the week, and then next Saturday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, for our next session. Thanks. Have a lovely day, and happy gaming, y'all.
Hi, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.